Hello and welcome to Raab Journal. I am Calvin Raab. So a couple of weeks ago I was browsing through various business websites and videos and I came across a guy who sold an app for $200,000. This was an interview with him and the interviewer asked, "So what are you going to do with all this money?" And then he responded, "Well, I bought an island." And my brain just exploded. I didn't know what to think. I kept rereading the article to make sure it was 200,000, not 200 million. And eventually, I just came to the conclusion that, he probably made it in his backyard, or he put a whole bunch of sand in his tub. This wasn't possible. But after that, I got a little curious and went on the internet and started spending lots of time researching and studying the whole private island market. I got a little into this one. So after a couple weeks of searching the internet, here are the 10 best islands that I found that you can buy right now. Can you guess where the cheapest price to buy an island is? You're wrong, it's Nova Scotia. Here are the top 4 islands that I found for sale that you can buy right now in Nova Scotia. And these I based on, one, the cheap price and how much land you're getting. I don't want to sell you just a little pebble. Let's begin. The very first island in Nova Scotia that I would recommend buying is Little Rocky Island. A pretty large piece of land, and that's for $76,483. This is a pretty impressive piece of land if you look at it. Next up was Johns Lake Island. For just $62,435, you can be taking home this leg-shaped island in Shelburne County. Now, moving on, for a little bit more money, bringing in at $101,457, you can take home the Biggers Lake Peninsula, and all 81 acres of it. Now, the number 4, and this is the cheapest one, for just $38,944, you can take home Whispering Trees Island. Think about it. You are buying an island off the coast of Canada for $38,000. So, those are the best-selling ones in Nova Scotia. Now, moving on to the rest of the world. Excluding the US, I will do those last. Nova Scotia islands seem to be selling pretty cheaply. But now, let's fly on down to Central America, in Mexico, where there is a lovely island for $145,000 called Isle Esmeralda. Now, if that name doesn't sound classy, I don't know what does. Don't want to go to Mexico? Well then, let's head over to Norway, where you can pick up Crottery Island for $96,322. Now, moving on, we're going through these fast. Let's go to Ireland, a place where you can find people kissing rocks, and you can find Manion Island, which you can purchase for $169,980. Now, let's move on to the prettiest island that I found, which is not surprisingly Belize. Although a little bit more expensive, you can pick up Lark Cay. If you have ever been to Hawaii and thought, wow, this is a beautiful place. Just one small problem. I don't want all the people here. Well then, Lark Island is the best bet. For $175,000, it is all yours. Alright, so maybe the United States is where you'd like to end up. Well then, here are the 2 quality cheap islands that I found here in the United States. There were millions, but these were the ones that I could find that you could buy right now, no matter who you are. So, the first for you is for all the fishermen out there. For $175,000, you can own Fisherman's Point Island in Michigan. No longer will you have to deal with your line getting crossed with anyone else because it's all yours. Alright. The last island on my list is in the United States. Probably the best location out of every single one that I found. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please. I present to you Naomi Island. For just $99,000, you can own Naomi Island. The coolest part about this maybe isn't the look exactly, but it's 90 miles north of New York City. And I don't know if you have checked home prices around New York City, but they're quite expensive. So obviously I wasn't able to see all the islands for sale. There are thousands, almost millions of islands that are for sale. Some are way cheaper than the ones I mentioned here. Many small islands in rural areas you can pick up relatively cheaply. Just contact local real estate agents and they will have you on your way. I used 3 main websites as I searched for all these islands for sale. And you can find all of those in the description below. Of course, when you consider an island, you want to check the rules of the water and if building is allowed on it. Oh, and probably the most important, make sure it won't be underwater in the next few years. Make sure it's not a sandbar and it's actually an island. Wouldn't you hate to show up and be like, family, this is the island that I bought. Where'd it go? It was just here. Oh boy. That was a waste of money. Alright, so maybe you weren't too impressed with the cheap islands that I just showed you, and you're ready to spend big. You want a big one. Well, may I present Naomi Island. That's right. You can truly get rid of the people in Hawaii by buying your own island. Oh, and did I mention it's $600 million? Alright, thank you for watching. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I would like to know which of the islands is your favorite and what on earth you would do with it if it was all yours. Thank you very much. I'm Calvin Raab for Raab Journal, and I'll see you soon.